Hi, everybody. Welcome to Big Apple Mountain Tarot and Astrology. I'm your host, Mike Rusnak.
I'm the other host, Everest Hall. Today, we're going to talk about the really interesting new moon that's going to happen in Taurus on May 19th.
Yeah,
it's a Friday.
It's a Friday. It happens at 10:53 a.m. Mountain Time. So that's 9:53 a.m. And it's, 12:53 in the afternoon Eastern Time.
And it's 29 degrees.
No, 28 degrees.
Almost 29. 28 degrees
of Taurus.
So it's a late new moon in Taurus.
And we're coming to you on Mother's Day, and this is the last day of Mercury retrograde. So as of tomorrow, the 15th, Mercury will have gone direct. 2 days later, Jupiter enters the sign of Taurus. So Jupiter will be at 0 degrees of Taurus for the next year. Jupiter spends a year in each sign. So if we wanted to think back to what was happening 12 years ago, we could get a bit of understanding of what that might look like with Jupiter in the sign of Taurus.
Which was 2011, right? Yeah. Okay, that's some math in my head.
I don't like to remember the past.
Yeah, I can't really imagine what was going on with me, but far away, very far away.
Lucky for us, it's important at this new moon to think very futuristically.
Yes.
And we've mentioned this in the last few videos, to start thinking futuristically, acting futuristically, summoning the highest intentions within ourselves, because we're in this liminal space between the old paradigms and the age of Aquarius. We're right at the dawn of this new era.
It's a doorway that we're entering into, and it's a pretty big, deep, wide doorway, so there's a lot of time to work with this energy. But the 20th century is over and done with. And we have this possibility and this futurism we've been talking about, but it's not like flying car jets and futurism.
It's not flying car jets and future, and it's not even a whole lot of importance placed on. Well, it's both. You know, there are new technologies. There's always going to be, but we might be taking a step back from that because we have gotten so confused with technology.
It's so far ahead
over
of
the past 25 years now, and the internet is having
a Saturn return. And I think it's like, instead
of a good time to review what are we doing as we move into this age of Aquarius. And Aquarius represents society and people, technology, medicine,
technology for the people.
Yeah.
And I think instead of like the kind of world our dog's saying stuff.
He agrees.
Instead of like the World's Fair, kind of like how technology will make our lives easier, it's a futurism on how humans can make humans' lives easier.
Yeah. Well, and at this new moon, it's important to really think about the Earth and what the Earth means for us.
Taurus is it's fixed Earth sign. It really kind of represents what nourishes us, food intake. It's like the deliciousness. It's ruled by Venus.
How we farm and who farms for us, right?
Grain production.
Yeah.
It's also like minerals and earthly pleasures, but values, what our values are. Which is where I see this energy kind of coming up for the most kind of interesting aspects. Is we've been through this long period with the COVID, which now is officially over, and we've all been changed.
Well, I'd like to also mention that this square between Jupiter at 0 degrees Taurus, and it's squaring to Pluto at 0 degrees Aquarius. Now, this might be echoing what was going on during the conjunction between Pluto and Jupiter, which was happening in March of 2020, right before lockdown. And now we're at this point where all of the restrictions have been lifted, but we're remembering that lockdown.
Right.
And and we're finding ourselves in medical facilities without masks.
That was weird.
Strange.
That was super weird.
No, happy to do it, but we've come through a real lot of change.
Yeah, and there could be, an urgency, a need, a want to go back to the way things were pre-2020, but so much has happened since then.
There is no.
It would just be foolish to try and reestablish those old habits, which hopefully we've all moved and developed from?
Well, before COVID,
Uh-huh.
I feel like we were moving into a space where technology has been increasingly confusing people.
Yeah.
Taking them away from their instincts. Taking them away from their instinct to eat at a certain time or breathe at a certain time.
Right.
When you think of what kind of apps are out there, there are apps for everything. They teach you to breathe, they teach you to walk, they teach you to,
Yeah.
and it's also a bit much because it's pulling us away from our instincts and our intuition. And this moon is about reclaiming that sense of intuition.
Yes.
And really understanding that there is such a thing as telephone ESP, right, Everest? Like before
Hello.
before the before the internet, humans, I think, were developing their extrasensory ability to like think about a person and then they wind up calling you.
Hello? Hello? Tiffany?
Tabitha?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I was just calling you.
But I was just calling you.
But it didn't ring here.
It didn't ring here either.
Oh my God, I love it. It happens.
The simplicity of the technology
Yeah.
allowed that. And I think you're talking about that last night. I really feel like you hit something quite profound in that all the apps and all of our phones doing everything for us and relying on our phone, our human intuition got kind of cut.
We're signing away a lot of our privacy and our information, and it's just it's a lot of confusion. Right?
Yes.
And this time, this moon is about simplifying. It's about thinking about the earth,
Right.
being in nature, waiting for those lightning moments to come from the power of Uranus,
Yeah.
which is the planet of Aquarius.
And that's conjunct the sun?
At this moon, we have the sun and the moon at 28 degrees Taurus,
Okay.
conjunct with Uranus, which is 19 degrees Taurus. And then in another conjunction, we have Jupiter at 0 degrees Taurus, Mercury at 6 degrees Taurus, and the North Node, our collective destiny, at 3 degrees Taurus.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, with Jupiter and Mercury in there, Jupiter expands, and Mercury is the planet...
Communications.
It's communication, the planet of Gemini and Virgo. And Jupiter expanding our sense of communication means that Jupiter is there to help heighten our sense of, our extrasensory abilities, our intuition, our psychic abilities. There could be a great psychic awakening over the next year.
Right. And what you were just talking about with kind of not relying as much on our apps and our technology, which we're all kind of seeing it being questioned and some of the failures of it. And
there's a lot of failures. I'm really angry about it. I'm bent about it.
No, you really are.
I am.
You take it personal. You can't stand that AI. It makes you nuts.
I don't understand what the I is in AI.
No,
I think it's just Photoshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking about, so we're in this kind of like real masculine energy. And there's a lot of kind of Aries, I and self. And that self, as we're kind of coming through this group collective sickness, there's a self-responsibility towards the others and towards this collectiveness. And one of the big discoveries I keep on talking about, because I think it's true, is that your health isn't your own, but it's communal. And,
we're going to get to focus on this a lot with our North Node moving into Aries in July.
Yeah.
Right? So we'll be going to a collective destiny point where we're more focused on individuation.
Yes.
The importance of being individuals and putting less importance on the value of cooperation with others.
Correct. But hopefully it's an individuation that's responsible and thinks about other people now that we've been through this kind of trauma.
There's been massive change throughout these last 3 years. From lockdown to now, there is no going back.
Right.
But a lot of people are confused, and we're trying to figure out what to do next.
Right.
But before the shutdown, there was this long period of being sort of submerged in this world of new technology. I won't even get on a portal for
No.
appointment.
But it's not just that. It's like the whole kind of Kardashianism.
There you go.
That was happening with the internet, where it was this self-image that was being kind of falsified.
Right. We're in the last days of this Taurus and Scorpio North and South node.
Well, that's going to happen in July, right?
Yeah. But this is where we're being asked to really get our values together.
Yes. Yeah.
What is important? How do we think about the earth? How are we stewards of the earth? Right? How are we developing our right brain thought? Because for thousands of years now, since the age of the age of Aries.
Yes. It's been left brain, analytic,
logic, analytical thinking, and again, pulling people away from their intuition more and more and more.
Yeah.
Now we're trying to return to a place of more balanced thought between left and right brain.
Yeah. I think of the Industrial Revolution with that, the real kind of analytic machine, and how the machine can make me rich. And everything that happened with that, and the pollution and the fog of London.
We have to think more futuristically now, and more about, do you ever see aliens walking around with cell phones, Everest?
No.
I'm pretty sure they just communicate directly with their minds, right?
Right.
Probably.
That evolved technology does not include an app to tell you how to breathe.
Right. Yeah.
So okay. So like the future's here. We're entering into it. We have a responsibility to the future.
The big news about this moment is the opposition between Mars in the sign of Cancer.
Yes.
And Pluto in the sign of Aquarius.
So Mars is going to be last degree Cancer.
Yes. So at this new moon, there's this moment where it's incredibly healing. Mars, our drive, it's in the sensitive sign of Cancer. Venus is also in Cancer too, right?
Yes.
And that's great beauty, romance, love. But Mars opposing Pluto. It's an alchemical time, and it's supportive of just transformations, where we could bring what's been hidden, Pluto, right, into the light.
Yes.
And to have the light of knowledge transform that information.
Correct.
So this eclipse, the Scorpio eclipse, dealt with a lot of revelations, pulling back the curtain. A lot of secrets were spilled, but it's also asking us to transform ourselves, to bring out these hidden parts of ourselves that we might have been repressing and not paying attention to.
Or they were locked in our subconscious. And now that we know these hidden truths, there's a responsibility through our intuition that we're talking about today. You've got a responsibility. Once you know what's up, you've got to deal with it. And I kind of think that this moon can go both ways, where there's a lot of there could be some pent-up frustration with Mars at that last degree of Cancer, which is such a feminine sign, and then it goes
into Leo, which is, Mars is a fire planet, and then it moves into Leo, a fire sign, and Lilith
there could be an explosion
are sensitive
of anger.
Yeah, Lilith.
If you don't have your kind of you're self-centered and kind of know where you are, there could be some volatile actions happening.
The energy will use you if you're not using it.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so stay grounded in your heart, ground in your intuition.
Work from love.
Yeah, very important to plant seeds of expansion, because Jupiter is going to be in there in Taurus for a year. So it's very important to plant seeds of expansion for what we want to bring forth and to give form to in this moment where we're moving into the age of Aquarius. It's time to practice some of our psychic abilities.
Yes, empathy. Our we could work on our telepathy. This is a great moon. It's a new moon for beginning to work on telepathic practices. And
What number am I thinking of?
5.
Yes.
Ah, see, no, that's not true. But kind of like listen to yourself and kind of do that inner mechanical practices and magical thinking that helps us so much on our day to day.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a beautiful time too because we have this trine, this water trine. So we have Mars will be trining Neptune in Pisces, Venus will be trining Saturn, and Saturn will be trining the South Node. So everything that's happening right now is helping us to leave behind what's no longer serving us. Scorpio in the South Node.
Correct.
So this is what we're eliminating. Our toxicity, our secrets, our lower intention self, we're shedding them.
All those things that weren't working out for us. I know, Sadie, I know.
And if we don't get the lesson this time, lucky for us, we get
It'll
to
come
do it
back.
again. It always comes back and back. But time is not linear. Time is a spiral. And we're always above the point that we were at last year.
Yes. So
And last year, last decade,
11 years ago.
24,000 years ago, time is a spiral, and we're always
Spirals.
moving up. Remember?
Up and out.
Do you remember when we had our little nephew baby here, and he was crying, Everest?
Oh, this was really interesting. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of family over because it's graduation time, and my nephew is graduating. So my niece came over with her baby, and it was amazing. So the baby was kind of learning how to have a fit, and wherever they get it, I don't know where they get it, but nobody was like throwing themselves into knots to try and keep the kid from crying.
No, we were just letting the baby cry. He was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't
But I
abused.
said to Everest, do you remember the old soundtrack where, deep in our history, deep in our history, we have these memories of babies crying and then adults screaming over the babies, trying to get them to stop. Everyone's losing their mind. And I said to him, look at how far we've come. It's like we've evolved from screaming cave people until now. And
Right.
we're thinking about things differently.
Yeah, totally. And like it was, kind of an understanding on child rearing where the baby will kind of work out this energy and he needs to
Needs
expel
to work
it.
out
He
this
needs to
energy.
expel it. And it was really like respected,
Mm-hmm.
and not coddled or tried
Or
to
stifled.
or influenced in any way. And it, his little moments just lasted a couple seconds, and then
no
he
one
moved
had
on.
no one had a meltdown.
No one raised an eyebrow, and it was really like an interesting.
It felt so refreshing to kind of leave all that extra drama behind us,
Right.
Just to kind of go, oh wow, we're really mature compared with.
Yeah, and not just that, but it seemed like that moment was an example of a possibility, of a future possibility for humans to not to release energy and
Just work
express
differently,
ourselves,
work from another
but
intention.
not express ourselves in a way that ruins the day and the month and the year and causes all this trauma and pain. But it's just like, oh my God, all right, I'm done.
Very well. Maybe we should move to tarot.
Let's move to tarot. Okay. So we're gonna pull some tarot cards. We're gonna disappear for 1 second and come right back. Okay, we are back with the tarot cards. We're gonna pull 2 cards for each element. So we're gonna start with fire.
We decided to do that because this new moon is really loaded with fixed sign energy. Again, the north and south nodes. And then Mars and Cancer moving into Leo, and then Pluto and Aquarius. During this new moon, look for that Uranian energy, those lightning moments, those eureka moments.
Yeah.
That come through.
Epiphanies.
That cut through the bullshit, that just come out.
That are coming from your subconscious, and they're not coming from your telephone.
No. And Neptune in Pisces ought to help with that dreaminess.
Yeah. Okay. Intuition.
Let's see.
All right, Mike.
Let's cut.
Cut, please.
Yes, sir.
So this is going to be for Aries and Leo and Sagittarius. All right. Wow. Okay, that's powerful. So for fire, we have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is about loss.
And don't focus on the loss. That will just expand the loss.
Focus on the cups that are standing up that you're not noticing. There's some loss that's happened or will happen that it might be unexpected surprise because of the eclipses.
Well, I feel that Jupiter has a hand in this too, because Jupiter has Jupiter often expands things and promises way more than it can deliver.
Yeah. Don't believe Jupiter.
So this is about not being able to get to do everything that you want to do.
And we have this loss because it's karmic and there's justice involved. And this was not serving us, although we might have been attached to this emotional space here. It wasn't serving us. And there's a kind of inevitability about this loss. And that's because it's justice and we're trying to achieve universal balance here. Okay. So next is Earth. This is going to be Taurus.
Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay. Wow.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, these cards are powerful today. So we got Ten of Cups. Do you want to talk about Ten of Cups?
Well, the tens are completions of a cycle, and cups are emotions, right? So this could be the completion of something,
Yes.
right?
We have a happy family, maybe.
Maybe this is a happy family. This could be a performative scene here. You're not quite sure whether this is happening or is this a play that you're being invited into. Are you watching something? The Five of Pentacles is about being so ground down by something that you don't notice the help that's being offered to you. But sometimes the Five of Pentacles could mean
Doing it the hard way.
Yeah, doing it the hard way, like delaying pleasure.
Right.
Sacrificing pleasure or delaying it for later.
Yeah. When I'm gonna get this wrong, but when Buddha gave up all of his money and and involved himself in poverty, kind of really doing it with your knuckles. Perhaps something is not satisfying in this performance of a family, and you have to leave.
And the pentacles are values, and that represents Taurus, right?
Taurus.
Yeah. And the cups are emotions, and they represent Scorpio, I'd say. Yeah, so this is very much about the axis and checking where your values are and understanding what is important to you today, and if the things that used to be important are any longer important to us.
Exactly.
It's just inventory, a spiritual inventory.
Yeah, personally, I'd rather live like this than live like that.
Did you see that a hummingbird just came in?
I know, a little hummingbird just came in. That's a good sign. Okay, so now we are air.
Air.
Okay, so Gemini and...
Gemini, Libra, and that's Aquarius.
Aquarius, that's me.
Oh, and there you are, Aquarius.
Hello, here I am. Wow. All right. So we got another 10 here. We have
This is all endings and beginnings.
Endings and beginnings, guys. This is endings and beginnings.
And transformation, alchemical transformation.
So here is the magician, and he is transforming thoughts into objects. He's taking the energy from the sky and he's bringing it into the earth. He's got all the tools of tarot right here. So all the tools of the universe. And he's manipulating it and turning it into something else. Why? Because Ten of Swords is over.
The old paradigms are gone. And we have to keep asking ourselves, what are we doing now to bring ourselves into to bring forth new forms for the Aquarian Age?
Yeah.
To usher in a new paradigm.
We've got to kill off our old thoughts, our old self, swords of thoughts, or at least acknowledge that this, is dead, and there's a resurrection happening in the distance. These are so perfect together, you know.
Yeah.
The red robe, the yellow sky.
It's kind of incredible.
It's really incredible. Okay.
Never noticed how much he looks like the magician, too.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
So this is, you know, a pretty clear story here. What happened?
The thoughts. The swords are thoughts, and this is again talking about leaving behind your logical process in favor of more intuition, deepening our intuition,
Right.
using more empathy, trying to use telephone ESP to contact someone, see if it happens.
Right. And this is very much the past here, as the sun is kind of rising and this is over, and he's manipulating the here and now. He's making it happen right now. So present tense. Now we have water.
So we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces.
So we have 3 of Pentacles. We're building a cathedral. We're trusting each other. We're listening to the architect. This is about kind of workers' values.
They're listening to the Mason.
They're listening to the Mason.
The lowly Mason, valuing his input.
Yes. The knowledge of the architect combined to the knowledge of the Mason, combined to the knowledge of the patron. They're all individual knowledges, but together they can build a cathedral.
Yeah, and this is, 3s are expansive energy too. And Saturn has moved into the sign of Pisces.
Yes.
For a while, for another couple years. And as Saturn closes in on Neptune, which controls our dreaminess and our contact with other worlds, Saturn will give us the means to create something new.
Maybe guardrails to create something new.
Saturn will pull down the illusions and create something stable.
So here we have our fellow who is beaten up, worn down, has been defending their territory here. They've got a fence made out of actions, the guardrails, and our dog is...
The wands represent passions.
Passion.
Yeah.
So all these passions have kind of beaten this fellow up, and we have this kind of collective building of value.
I think this is telling these water signs to kind of check in with others more. You know, to kind of get out of your own head.
Yeah, there's no water in here. So there's pentacles and wands. Very interesting. All right, guys.
Yeah. Well, I do hope that some of this information has helped you, and thank you so much for listening. If you've listened all the way to the end,
I know. Thanks for us on this journey. We love comments. I don't always respond right away. We love comments. Share and like.
And I'm always curious to know what people are going through with the eclipse energy.
Yeah. And tell us if the tarot is resonating with you.
Please do.
We hope it is. All right. We'll see you later. Bye.